tips as I'm working on my legs. Hi! So we're gonna do some DIY leg sugaring now. So I'm gonna get the cameras set on my legs. Let's see. Excuse me, YouTubers. So we've got, let's see, I'm gonna have to turn this camera around. If you can see my cart, got the setup here. And my YouTube camera, I'm going crazy here. Sorry, you guys. So here's the cart. Okay, everything's set up. Everything's set up here. And now we're gonna set it on my legs. Okay. So if you can zoom in and like see how you can see the hair. Okay. So on YouTube you'll see that we've got a close-up going on, so if you guys want to look at it later you can. All right, and I gotta hurry up because I have a client, but we decided to do this. And sorry if you saw anything in the room you weren't supposed to see. Me moving the cameras all around. It's always interesting going live. I have a lot of hair. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm sure you can on YouTube. But my hair grew out because I was kind of saving it for students that I'm teaching. So clean really well. You can have them lift up the back of their leg, you know, so you can go around the back while you're on the front. And make sure you really spray everything down well. Also, if they've showered that day, it's a good idea. So don't squeeze your bottle very hard. You just squeeze it a little bit, okay? And then you need a dry 4x4. Get powdered. So you don't need a lot of powder. People's legs don't get sweaty typically. You just want the skin nice and dry, and you want all of their natural oils out of the way. Excuse me, I'm going to try to keep my little apron down because I have a little dress on. Okay, so those go on your SMA, and then this is slightly warmed sugar, okay? So when it's slightly warmed, it gets to this consistency. This is maybe like 85 degrees, okay? I'm gonna use part original, and my soft is not warmed because it's very soft. So then with my original, I'm gonna grab some soft too. And make sure those are kind of combined together. The cool temperature of the soft's gonna cool down the original a little bit. So if they're well exfoliated, sometimes you only need to mold once. Now I let my hair grow out completely for like 8 weeks, so most likely the best case scenario is not going to be possible, even though I've scrubbed and everything. When they've let their hair grow out completely, it can take 3 or 4 services to, so you'll see the hair coming out, but there's a little bit of patchiness because I let my hair go so long. Also, and if you need to see the close-up on Facebook, let me see if I can get you guys even closer here. You can go on YouTube and get even closer, okay? So there's a tiny bit of patchiness left over molding one time. So I'm gonna mold, let's see, get the whole, maybe just like this, yeah. So I'm gonna mold twice this second time, and we'll see how I'm going from ankle all the way up to right below the knee. And if you want to speed sugar, this is the only way to do it. Okay, so that first strip took all of the hair. So sometimes if it's been a long time, you might need a couple molds. So that came completely clean with 2 molds, okay? This left a tiny bit of patchiness, so you don't want to make a huge strip over here again. So if you want to get going faster sometimes when there's cool temperatures in your room, you might want to take your original and heat it on the lowest setting of a sugar warmer, although there's very few sugar warmers that can actually get low enough for our sugar. So I like soft mixed in too, because soft is a tiny bit stickier, but you have to be really good at sugaring so that all works out for you. The soft can be harder to manage when you're learning, but the extra stickiness helps you when you have stubborn hair. So you really want to learn to get the right blend of sugar. Hey, so I've done all of this already, that fast. I don't even know. We've maybe been on camera less than 10 minutes. And I had to clean my legs and get everything prepped too. So if your client's skin is not in good condition, and I get questions about this all the time, you're gonna have trouble removing the hair this easily. Even on myself, if I don't scrub, so I'm just picking up all the little pieces, but that took all the hair out. You have to make sure you cross over your last section a little bit, okay? Sorry, on Facebook, gotta raise the camera up a little bit. So you'll see I'm in kind of a funny position because I'm working on myself. So this hair had to go. It had been here for too long. So that strip sat a little longer than the other one, and that one also took out all the hair. My hair is kind of stubborn because I have keratosis pilaris. So here's the knee. If their skin is got good elasticity, then you don't necessarily need them to bend their knee, but if you're having trouble with skin elasticity, then you do. So remember, this is like a first time hair client. These are not ideal conditions, and this is going pretty fast, right? Sometimes I get talking with my clients and I book extra time just because I schmooze with my clients a little bit. But when you're really focused, you can go quick with sugaring, and I find this a lot faster than going back and forth to a wax pot, you know, and doing strips and all of the different things that you need to wax. So see, I like this nice, soft, pliable sugar. As you become more experienced in sugaring, you'll probably like a softer sugar too. All right, so that was the whole front of my own leg, which is harder to do than a client, and I'm just looking for little leftovers. I do get keratosis pilaris, so you'll see some little speckles on my legs in different places. After I sugar, see if you can see it. This one has little red speckles, and so if you need the close-up, go on YouTube later. And that's the keratosis pilaris, and it gets better when I sugar. So let's see if we can get this leg well lit enough. For some reason it doesn't look very well lit on the Facebook camera. Okay, let's do the front of the other one. So all the way from ankle. So you have to have enough sugar to do this. Don't forget, you need to have a lip of sugar on your fingers. So if you don't have a lip of sugar in front of your fingers, it's like dragging an empty wax stick through their hair. And that'll happen sometimes when you're flicking well, so you go where there's no hair and just try to gently do this. If you do it too rough, it'll actually tug on their skin a little bit. Oop, there's a patch of hair down here. So this spot on my ankle probably didn't get scrubbed well enough. Okay. So make sure you cross over your last section just a tiny bit. Now, when your client's hair is still coming out patchy after you seem to be doing everything right, there we go, that's better lighting, then it's probably because they're not scrubbing and moisturizing. Remember to keep your flicks really parallel to the skin, otherwise you can break off hair just like waxing. So your wrist, is pretty relaxed while you're molding. So we're doing 2 molds, or you can put on the strip and then wait a little bit longer and let it seep. So make sure you re-anchor the skin all the way down the leg, and then you also put pressure on the skin after removing all that hair. It doesn't feel good, let me tell you. So it kind of tricks the nerves when you rub the skin all over. If you just kind of go like this with your fingertips, it's not really going to do the trick. Some of this hair is starting to grow this way, so I'm trying not to wrap too far around my leg. The way I have to do the backs of my legs, I'm not sure if you guys will be able to see that, but if you want to, I will try to do it. Well, this is getting half of the back of my leg, just doing this, and then I've got another section on the other side in the front. So some people do half leg below the knee. That's obviously going to take less time, but most people like a little bit done right above their knee, so that's a little more leg, you know, than a true half leg. And once your sugar softens up, you can mold quicker, or if you start with it a little bit warm, then you can mold quicker with, my hair is really long, so it could pull my hair if I was going too fast, but this isn't pulling at all. So don't be afraid to go at the right pace once your sugar's warm enough. Just a few stragglers on this knee. Knees are notorious for having little patches of hair left behind, so just get used to the idea of going over a knee a second time. It's just kind of the way the hair grows, and it's stubborn, and it tends to be drier there, which is the key. Whoops, I ran out of I needed a little more sugar at the top. Sometimes you can pick just the tiniest little bit off your glove, but be careful on clients. So this one sat a little bit longer. Still, it came out a tiny bit patchy with one mold down there. So we're gonna go back over it with 2 molds, okay? Sorry about the view on Facebook. It's hard to see this one. Keep in mind I'm working on myself, so I can't do pressure like I'd like to everywhere because of the areas I'm working on. It's a little tricky to reach everywhere. So try to mix your pastes and experiment a little bit with sugar. And next week we're going to go over how to gain more control of your sugar. Here we go. This leg looks like there's a couple spots I didn't scrub as well. So if you keep having problems in the same spot, it might be the type of clothes that they're wearing. It might be that they're not quite scrubbing there. Okay, so to get the back of my leg, and remember, some of it is not growing in an ideal direction to do this, but my hair grows straight across my leg, so ideally when I'm flicking it, I'm gonna kind of flick in this direction. So I'm gonna attach to the inside corner and then flick this way, since I can't mold that direction on myself. So this is the part where I normally contort a little bit and get to the back of my leg. But we're gonna do just about all of it, and then there's some little spots where I'm gonna have to lift my legs up and do some funny things. All right. That's pretty much all of it except one little strip on the back, which I'm gonna have to stand up and get into a different position to do that little spot. Okay, so you can go back and check for any little stragglers and pick those up, but that's a lot of times what takes a lot of time with legs, is going back and checking for little leftovers. Whether I waxed or sugared them, that was the case. Okay, sometimes you can pick up sugar if it's on the table too. But you have to do this really fast. If you pause on the table, your sugar ball will get stuck. And if your sugar is gooey enough, some of it's going to start sticking to the table as you're doing that, but try to pick it up as you're working, and that should help you with sugaring. All right, everybody, I'll answer questions in a little bit.